My 2013 Can AM Spyder RS-S. What I'm going to be doing is put new brake pads on the front. I got EBC aftermarket brake pads. I think they might be a little bit better than stock, a little better stopping power, and also they're cheaper. I can get a pair for left and right side, which is what I'm doing today, for about $100 locally in stock, and the factory ones are about $20 a side higher, and they're probably not any better. They're probably not much different. But anyway, don't like throwing those around. Anyways, I need to get the tire off and the brake caliper off. I'm going to show you guys how I do that. Right now, the bike is not jacked up. I got the back wheel chopped on both sides. I got my breaker bar for taking these lugs off. I'm using, what I have is a 13/16 spark plug socket. These aren't very strong, but it's a thin wall that fits in here. I think this is a 20 mil, and my walls are too thick on mine to actually fit in here to take this off, unfortunately. So, and I've done the other side already. I didn't have to worry about it stripping. I just have to use my little wrench here and a breaker bar. But it's not rolling on the lug nuts at all. I feel pretty good about it. Not hurting anything. Alright, I got my lug bolts loose. And I'm jacking the bike up in the very, very middle on the bar, just a little bit behind the wheels. It tends to bring both sides up, and then the bike kind of teeters on the jack in the middle. And I'll show you how I counter that problem. Make sure the bike doesn't come down or go up. I just apply a little bit of pressure down here on, make sure I don't hit the rotor at all, on the ball joint, and I just bring the bike just a little, just to take the pressure off it. Actually get the pressure on the other side. So to get these off, it's not too hard. This takes 15 millimeter. I'm just using my standard socket here. I don't need any extenders or anything. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. This is tight. Easy enough. These shouldn't be very, very tight. Okay. Caliper's off. I'm just going to take this and get it out of my way. This way I can inspect it really good on this side. Looks good. No grooves. It's a great rotor. Anyways. Just going to put it down out of my way, and now I'm to the meat here. Yeah, these pads are pretty thin. They're definitely more than halfway used up. Got about 7,000 miles on my bike. I ride it hard, so I'm not super surprised that they're making noise and stuff. And this is so easy. So these aren't very heavy. And this is rubber, of course, and this is a fitting, and it really supports itself really well here. You just don't want to move around a lot and end up grabbing this. So anyways, this is your spring. As you can see, it goes right, the big round part is right here in the middle of this pin. So the first thing I do, you got to pull this cotter pin out. It comes off really simple. It's a very easy pull. I'm just going to leave it kind of attached to those. I'm going to go ahead and get my pads open. I'm going to be careful setting this down. Don't get any oil or anything on these pads. This is all dry in here. Okay, so this single pad pin right here, needs to be come out. And this is just my Torx wrench. Whew, I need to clean my tools. It's a 30 millimeter Torx bit, and yeah, there's it snapping. And you want to hold the spring down because it's rubbing on the spring right now. And holding the spring down will keep it, the tension off that bolt that you're threading out here. It only goes in one way. Can't mess this up too bad. Just going to take note where this all settles down at. Alright, take this bolt off. I'm going to let the spring come out. And then your pads lift straight up and out. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna be careful with this here. Compare these. It's got some glazing going on here. Yeah, definitely pretty thin. Not horrible. I got a groove on this one. Maybe a contaminant in there. Might have been my squeaking problem. I don't know. But anyways, these are done. Really simple to put the other ones in. Alright, before we do that, almost skipped a step. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, we got these 4 pistons right here, and they go back into the assembly, and they are super covered in brake dust and stuff. And since we're pushing those into a chamber, I want to clean those really good, and I just use a little simple soapy hot water on these, and just let it drip, and a toothbrush. Careful with this. Oh, toothbrush right after you. All right, so I got one here. It's soapy hot water. You could use brake cleaner. That stuff's pretty harsh. You spray it all over and dripping, and kind of makes oil and stuff. And you can't hurt these really like this, cleaning them. Like I said, you could spray the chemicals in here and do it that way. And use toothbrush. Probably getting stuff flung on my face. And then I got a clean one. It's just basically clean water. Just using it as a flush. A lot of black coming off. Alright, I'm gonna get my towel in here, dry these up. Alright, brake caliper's clean inside. Exactly what I wanted. And I haven't overfilled my brake fluid or anything like that, so I can actually press these pistons in by hand. I like to do 2 at the same time. There they go. If you do 1 at a time, sometimes they teeter-totter. Alright, now I got them pressed in. I like it. I like it that it's all clean. One goes this way. One goes this way. Straightforward. Alright, I got to clean one more thing. I should have done that before I hung those brake pads. I actually like to clean the bolt too. Since that's where that spring pressure is. I didn't have any walkthrough videos. Alright, I got this spring a little too low. It'll line up just right. Right where it goes across that dip in there. Alright, I hit the threads. Start working it in. I mean, if you want, you could press the spring in. Another thing is just hand tightened. Alright, we got it. This pad's spread all the way out. And then the cotter pen. No big deal. Right around that little groove that's there for it. Snaps right in. That'll keep, if this ever did loosen, it would keep it from going any further and back out. Alright. So anyways, I was being careful, minding myself of that. I'm going to put the disc back on here. And make sure the arrows are pointing the way they're supposed to. Alright, plenty of room. Got the caliper spread far enough apart. Hand thread that bolt. 77 foot-pounds of torque. I'm gonna go check the other side, make sure it's good. I'm gonna hit stop here. Guys, I am no way a pro at this. Matter of fact, I'm about as amateur as they get. I just like tinkering. And this is very important that these are done right. Your safety is important. So my guide is just for informational purposes. For people who want to tackle it themselves, do not try this at home. Go to a professional Can AM dealer, preferably one you trust that won't rip you off. The pads, like I said, are about $100 for left and right side, and of course their labor rate. It's a really simple job, so they shouldn't be more an hour and a half for this type of work. But I don't know. Anyways, there's a break-in procedure for new brake pads. I'm familiar with on cars. It's probably like from 30 or 40 miles per hour, 20 or so stops in a row, bed those pads in. And I'm going to look that up on Google before I get out there. But anyways, I'm going to open the garage door, take this sucker out, and make sure it's good to go. Oh, it's hot out. I love my convertible helmet. Nice and clean, even when it's open. Ladies and gentlemen, brakes are all done. One thing I forgot to do is, when you first get on the bike, you got to pump the brakes a bunch of times to get those pads seated back into, you know, the disc there, and then you're good to go. I took it out, did about 40 mile per hour to 0, stops and starts, you know, rolling, almost to a complete stop, got some gas. Bike's good to go. It's no longer doing this when you hit the brakes, pulling. It kept going, and I had to counter steer. Now it's straight. It sounds a little scrubby when it's stopping, but I mean, that sounds right. And it is stopping hardcore better than it ever has before. I'm super happy with it. So there's my little tutorial. Hope you enjoy. Hope it helps.